But where we left off was in a small little milling village called Dunross. And there's this rat problem. And it seems like there's some other forces of magic that are kind of making this happen. And as the villagers, well, it all starts where the villagers were supposed to go and pick up this shipment of flour. And this shipment of flour belongs to a guy named Rodgar. And they were supposed to pick up about 50 sacks of flour from his storage facility here at Dunross. Well, they found out that the storage facility, well, actually the entire town of Dunross has been overrun by rats. So most of the, a lot of people in the town are ill now because of this, with disease from the rats. The other storage facilities here at Dunross, all the other milled flour has been pretty much destroyed. Some of the shipment that you were supposed to pick up from Rodgar was destroyed. And you have it took about an hour to get 35 sacks of flour onto the wagon. Well, just as soon as you guys were heading out and everything was good, all of a sudden, a massive, huge, just blanket of rats just basically started overtaking the entire village of Dunross, even though it was already in bad shape anyway. Well, anyway, this massive plague just it looked like a rug being pulled over the entire town or the village. So that's where we ended up. You guys saved a couple of the villagers, you saved a baby, a couple others died, and you killed a bunch of giant rats on your way out. So, the villagers that you rescued, and you also have this baby in your possession, they all thank you. And these villagers of Dunross, they plan to go to Oslov, which is like the major city here in the Freelands. And in fact, let me give you a map of the Freelands. And I'll kind of show you where we're at also. All right. So this map will load up for you. It's a massive map. So there you go. It's loading up for you guys. I see it. So where we're at is we are at this green little pendant on the map, and I'll sync this map to you guys also. Sync you guys to me. Where this pointer is, the green little pin, you can click on that also. That's Dunross. That has information for the town that you had just left. And Oslov is here. That's pretty much the major city within the Freelands. And when you talk to the mayor, he actually sent word to Oslov several days ago. But to no avail, of course, no help came. So that's where we're at now. And I will, try to not move that stuff on. I've got that stuff gauged on the maps, but not a problem. Let's see, let's move this over here. So now you leave Dunross, you save a baby, you get thanked by the villagers and whatnot. And
the ones that lived.
The ones that lived, yeah, because there is a lot of dead. And even the even the guard at the gate that was opening the gate for you, he actually died a very valiant death, as I believe it was Jot. It was Jot or Fargus shot him with a crossbow bolt to put him out of his misery really quickly.
It was Yacht with a short bow.
Okay. So the villagers that are left, they're actually begging you to find out what caused this attack. So the rest of them don't suffer the same fate, and they're going to have to go to Oslov anyway and probably live in the tent city that's there. But you guys got 35 sacks of flour. Those are the ones that were actually, the ones that survived. And then there was this mysterious visitor named Otto Edmundson. He was the one that actually picked up the grains from the other storage facility. And then after the Otto Edmundson and his caravan left, that's when all hell started breaking loose several hours later with all of these rats. But your next destination should be Dalsetter, which is just a little bit north of Dunross, and you should be able to make it there by the end of the day. And in fact, as you guys have anything else that you guys want to discuss with these villagers of Dunross?
Who all is alive?
There's maybe a couple dozen people or so that are left alive. The priestess made it out. She made it out. So did the mayor made it out, barely. Also, the herbalist, she made it out. The old man, he made it out. The one that actually was informing you.
The granary?
Yeah, with the granary, and helped you guys out with the name of Otto Edmundson and stuff like that.
The rat catcher died, didn't he?
No, you can still see him and his dog in there just whacking away on rats.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, those other villagers that are outside the gates.
Oh yeah, you guys are off probably a couple of 100 yards away from Dunross. And they're like, don't let the other villagers die in vain. You must find out what happened. All these deaths must be avenged.
They will be. We'll be back to let you know.
Oh, thank you. And they're all like groveling at your feet and whatnot. Oh, thank you.
I want to talk to the priestess.
What's that, Mercy?
I want to talk to the priestess.
Sure. She's there.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh, we made it out alive. Barely.
Oh, that's good. And I have one other soul that you can take care of. And I hand her the baby.
Oh, I'm not fit to be any mother. Oh, but I'm sure there's enough of us here at the temple that can actually take care of this little thing. I guess
correct, because we're off to go take care of this business with these rats.
And she says, I take it the mother didn't survive?
No, I grabbed this baby out of her hands before she was taken down by rats.
Oh, how horrible. What a way to die.
One of many deaths today.
I think that I've actually been attracted by the commotion.
Yeah, you and Godfrey, you guys are traveling along the road, and all of a sudden you hear screams of terror and stuff by the small village of Dunross. And you guys see a wagon that's pretty much camped out a couple 100 yards, and then there's a bunch of villagers that are kind of laying down and laying against the trees and stuff. It's actually quite a few trees out there, so it's shady. It's a little bit cooler. A lot of them have bite marks on them and whatnot. And there's a wagon that's full of these sacks that say flour on them. XXX flour. I think your token says that on there, doesn't it? Doesn't it have 3 X's and it says flour or something on your sack token?
That's Godfrey's favorite kind of flour.
Triple X flour. Oh my. So yeah, Godfrey and Matilda, you two are walking up. Looks like total chaos here at Dunross. It looks like a lot of the town is on fire. It seems like the fire's spreading from building to building. And there's a horrible smell in the air. Smells like a burnt, wet fur slash like flesh that's burning.
I've seen these two people walk up. What do they look like?
There was a female elf and a human in robes or normal clothes, maybe. You two can describe yourselves.
Yes, please.
Salutations, traveler. I am Lady Matilda Leaf Russell, daughter of Finthic Leaf Russell, who reigns as Bow Lord at the elf home called Telluria in the heart of the Hearthlands. And my beauty reaches to the heavens.
Nice
I
voice
can't speak for
modifying.
Godfrey here, but I know I was backpacking through the trails as a graduation event.
Oh, it's very nice to meet you, Elf. I'm the merciful daughter of Vera. And what brings you this way? Just out doing your walk?
Yeah, well, I just came back down this way through after visiting the Temple of Eartha, where I had been visiting, and I witnessed a horrible commotion.
Rats? Did you see rats?
I seem to smell burning rats.
And a screaming child.
Okay. Well, you didn't see any rats on your way here?
I just traveled in from Oslo, and my name's Godfrey, by the way. The bright fires kind of caught my attention.
Oh, I like that.
Well, Godfrey. What a nice name. I can't help but notice all the ants in your hair. Is that natural or...
Everything's about me is natural.
Okay, well then just carry on with those ants.
Ants. Oh, God. The priestess looks over at you and says, "Ants? I don't see any ants in his hair or her hair."
What? Just look a little harder. You can see them crawling all in his hair.
Oh,
I snap my fingers, and they just like kind of fizzle a little bit in my hair, and they burn up.
Mercy doesn't see that. They start dancing when you snap your fingers. Oh, what a wonderful trick you have. But anyway, Miss Priestess, I do have a concern that I want to bring up with you.
yes, Sister of Mercy.
You know, while we were in the granaries, we noticed that a Mr. Otto Edmondsuno, are you familiar with his name?
Let me do a notice roll really quick. She says, "I think I remember him from a couple of days ago with a caravan. I believe that a couple of his men needed some tending to from heat exhaustion. I guess they were traveling to Dol Sutter, I think he said."
Well, we
But yes,
noticed.
I do remember him from a couple of days ago, yes.
Very good. Then you know that he has stored some quantities of grain here in your town. And we noticed that the storehouses that his grain was located had runes that were indicative of Esther.
Ah, yes, sometimes for a fee or for a donation to our temple, I will bless their storage facilities with good fortunes to make sure that the flour does not spoil. Or sometimes if it's also for protection and warding as well. Of course,
Okay.
for a small nominal donation to the temple, of course.
Was his donation anything odd? Or just typical?
It was a typical donation, and what I had done is I actually put a couple of wards on there. There was a blessing ward, and there was but this was actually not done through him though. This was done by the owner of the actual facility. I'm not sure what his name is, but I know that this Otto Edmundsunu was actually in here picking this up for someone, much like I think what you were doing for Mr. Rodgar and his storage facility. The only thing that I remember was they were going to Dol Sutter.
Well, to be honest, I didn't find too much interesting of the markings, because the odd thing about it is of course that he removed his grain from his stores just hours before the rats came.
He removed all of it? I never thought of it like that. You could be onto something, Sister of Mercy. So where are you off to now? Are you off to Dalsetter as well?
Well, we still have these goods that we need to return to Dalsetter, but we're definitely going to find out what's behind these rat attacks. Many lives are at risk because of this.
Yeah. Maybe you might be able to track down that Otto Edmundsunu in Dol Sutter. That could be a possibility. Maybe you might be able to find out actually who owns it. I don't personally know, but I'm sure you could find out at Dol Sutter. I'm sure that if there's flour taken there, I'm sure that there are some storage facilities there, but I think the main trade is for the bakers there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, perhaps the mayor might know too.
Ah, yes, there is a mayor.
Hopefully he's more useful than Cupcake here.
I believe his name is Ogdi? Ogdi Skulisunu, I think his name is. Ogdi Skulisunu.
Is that the mayor's name?
That's the mayor's name, yeah. He seemed to be like a nice fellow when I would go in there and visit the healer. There's quite a bit more to do there in Dol Sutter than there is here in Dunross. And in fact, there's really nothing much to do now anymore here in Dunross. So we're probably going to march towards Oslov. We're going to get some answers. We're going to find out why Oslov did not come to our aid.
Who's speaking right now?
The priestess.
Okay.
Well, as long as I'm no trouble, I presume that the human here is in charge. I'd like to join you on your quest to Oslop. I'm very curious about what's happening here.
Well, no one really is in charge. We actually, our patron Rodgar sent 3 travelers, and I happened to be here at the same time these 2 dwarf gentlemen were around, and we all escorted
Wild. Thanks for the follow, Wild.
the flower. Or that was what we were meant to do, but that's kind of, things have changed now, I think. I mean, to see what the issue is with these rats. Anyone who wants to join me is certainly welcome.
I agree. I feel like I need to help these villagers out and find out what's going on.
Yeah, we'll
Right
continue
on.
on to Dalsetter and drop the flower off. See if we can find some answers there.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to talk to the mayor once more. I'd like to ask him about Otto.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry for your city, your town.
He's eating a sandwich. Yes, so am I. It's a grave disaster. As he's just munching on a sandwich.
Still eating, I see.
Sir, you should probably cook that snake before you eat it. I've heard eating raw snake is bad for you.
Raw snake? This is carved ham, lady.
Okay,
Snake.
you know, whatever you want to tell yourself to make it go down easier, it's not my concern. However, we have found the word of an Otto Edmundsunu who was here prior to the rats. Are you familiar with this person?
With an Otto Edmundsunu? No, I This is delicious, actually. I am not familiar with him. Do you think he could be the reason behind this rat problem that we have here?
It's quite possible. He had a large storage of grain that he removed just hours before the rats came.
Well, I hope you find him.
Yes,
Because
sir, and I
justice
hope that
needs to be done.
The next time that you have a town to run, maybe you would probably be a little more informed about what goes on, possibly.
Well, I've informed Oslov of the rat madness that we've had, and it's not my fault that they have not shown up to our aid. That's why we pay our taxes to Oslov. We pay them for this protection.
Okay, thank you. You enjoy your steak.
Thank you. Even though it is a ham, it is a glazed ham. But anyways, I will enjoy it. Thank you for all of your help, and thank you for saving what is left of our villagers. It's quite unfortunate.
How about sharing some of that food with the remaining villagers?
Oh, there's plenty here. And he has a briefcase that's up on a table, and he opens up the briefcase, and there's like a moldy wheel of cheese and some dried hams and like on a bone and whatnot. And he goes, "Oh, they can help themselves." And then he closes the briefcase back up. Dalsetter.
Yes, let's make our way there before I do something to this fat bastard.
I don't know what you're talking about, snake. This is perfectly good ham. Well, you guys know that Dalsetter is a small little village, sort of like what Dunross is, but it's much larger. You know, and it's also enclosed in a wooden palisade as well, just like Dunross was. But there's a lot more stuff inside of Dalsetter than there is Dunross, like I said. And as you guys spend about half a day or so the sun is starting to descend down now, and it's in the twilight hours of the day, and there's a couple of guards outside of the gate, and they wave you, and they wave you, and they kind of stop you for a second, and they check out your flour, and they say, "Oh, this is much needed. Our flour supply is totally out. Take it right to the bakery." And then they kind of point you the directions, and there's a wooden board of the entire town as well. And they say, "Oh, it's right here. You just go down, take a couple lefts, take a couple rights, and you're at the baker, and Horsa will take care of you. He's a good
this
guy."
map, Dave, is there a "you are here" indicator?
There is not. No, we are a theater of mining. This one.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but has anyone thought about how much that grain, that flour might be worth?
Yeah, speaking out of character, yeah, they were going to be paid 50 gold per person for the delivery, and they were going to be paid 20 gold per sack. But there were 50 sacks of flour expected that was in a storage bin, but because of the rats, they weren't able to save all of it. But they've got
speaking
35.
in character,
Yeah.
I say that,
Go for it.
well, it's not really our flour to sell. We are being paid to escort it to this town.
Well, it's just that I'm so low on funds right now. I thought about donating a few gold in the interest of that child who needs a wet nurse and probably some care, but I just don't have enough gold right now.
Oh, the House of Esther will take care of that. However, poor elf, are you in need of food?
It's okay. I'll manage for the time being.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Nice.
So I guess we're going to head to the bakery.
Sure.
Yep.
You zig and zag throughout the narrow streets. There's children playing and all kinds of different establishments that you see. You pass by a healer. You pass by what appears to be like a grand hall where maybe the mayor would be. You see that there is a, and this is what you pass by. And you're like, I think I've seen this somewhere before. You see an inn and tavern called the Four Sheaves. Seriously. You see a general store. And that's everything that you see. But the Four Sheaves, there's another Four Sheaves. That's where you guys actually started.
Oh, that was the name of it.
Yeah, it's called the Four Sheaves. There's a story behind that. Maybe you'll find out about it. But there's a healer. There's a hall where the mayor is, probably the town hall. The Four Sheaves, the general store. And then you go around the corner, and you're at the baker's. And the baker's shop is called Pinch-a-Loaf. Kind of funny, huh?
Jesus.
No, I made that up, but it's called Pinch-a-Loaf.
You reckon?
Pinch-a-Loaf Bakery. And as you pull up to the bakery, a young man, probably in his late teens, approaches you. He inquires. He actually looks inside of the back of the wagon, and he's I take it you're the ones that are supposed to be delivering the flower shipment. Thank goodness.
Yes, Rodgar sent us.
Oh, very good. We've been expecting this shipment. It kind of looks a little light though. But anyways, I'll go inside and I'll get Horsa. He'll be right out. And he actually starts taking he and a couple of the other apprentice bakers, they start taking some of these bags of flour out. He goes in.
I want the receipt for those that you're getting.
Oh, yes, Horsa, he'll take care of the receipt. He's on his way out right now. He's the best baker in all of Dol Sutter. And he goes in.
Yes, of course, because we are light, of course, because we did have an issue in the previous town where your flour was being held. But I'll discuss this with your.
What kind of problem? Oh, okay. He yells inside, Horsa, the flour's here. You need to bring the receipt book. And, probably about 30, 45 seconds later, out comes this gentleman with a apron on, white apron, all powder all over the place. His face is covered with flour, it seems like. And he says, "Oh, good. Seems like the flour delivery's here." He says, "Oh, that's good." And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out this pretty hefty pouch. And he says, "All right, so how many bags have we got here?" He starts looking out there and he goes, he counts for a couple of minutes and it looks like, I was expecting 50 sacks of flour. It seems like there's only 35 here. It seems like you guys are short 15 sacks. Is there a problem?
Dave, do I know if there was 35 sacks or not?
Oh, yeah, you guys counted them. Remember, it took an hour to load them on. So, yeah, you definitely know that there's 35.
Okay. I just can't pass up the chance that this guy's trying to grift me.
No, he's not trying to. No, he's not trying to rip you off. He actually mentions Rodgar. He said that Rodgar sent him a message, and he said that I was expecting to see three of you travelers, not 5. It seems the number has grown a little bit, maybe?
Yes, indeed. If it weren't for these two, nothing would have really changed. But still, it's great that they're here.
Oh, Patsy said that there was a problem with you not being able to get all of the other flour sacks. Can I inquire as to what happened?
Yes, I'm pretty sure the word has not spread here that Dunross has been overrun by rats. They've killed most of the villagers and have destroyed most of the grains in the granaries. We were able to get these bags out safely from the town before it was overrun. The town is completely uninhabitable now.
Thank you, Edgar. Well, that's worse than bad, little lady. Oh, and he kind of lets out a big sigh. He says, oh boy. Oh, not enough flour means that there could be no bread over some portion of the winter that we're going to have. Oh, so folks are having a bad enough time now as it is. This could cause a little bit of problems. But I know you probably did your best, and I'll go ahead and compensate you, and you can take up I'll pay you 50 gold shields apiece. So everybody can add 50 gold shields on your sheet. And there is a total of 700 that he's paying you. And he says, just go ahead and take this and drop it by Rodgar's house. And I believe that one of his servants is there. I'm sure Elwick will probably go ahead and answer the door for you. So out of that 250, there's 450 gold left to deliver to the house of Rodgar. So you guys remember, you guys are supposed to take that money and drop it off at his place.
Right.
And
I insist on getting a receipt for this money as well.
Oh yeah, he writes down 35 sacks, 20 gold per sack, 700 gold shields, paid in full.
And the 450 that is to be delivered to Rodgar.
Yep, you get it. 450. It's in a small little bag. Well, actually, it's in a larger bag. He pulls
Sorry,
another
sir, but
bag
I
out.
haven't-
Oh,
this
some
is
more.
written down.
Oh,
And your
I'm
seal.
all about diligence. I appreciate it. Oh, sure. He has Patsy running as he's taking another bag of flour inside, and he stamps it and brings it back out for you.
Because you never know what might happen. You know, a city might be overrun by rats. No
Oh,
one
well-
can predict these things, but
Well-
you know, we have to cover everything.
Those, unfortunately, the rats, they're not making their way here to Dol Sutter, are they?
They do seem to be spreading. We are trying, just so that you know, sir. That
And
we
you-
are
and
trying
you-
to find out why and
Oh.
where these rats are coming from.
This is bad news. I don't know where we're going to take our products to have them milled. Dunross was the only.
It's extremely bad news, sir. As a matter of fact, you should be very happy that you are alive. And
I
hope
will-
that you remain that way.
I count
There
my
are
buns
several
every
people
day.
in Dunross who are dying that dead now.
Who would you say would be in charge that we could talk about these rats with?
You could probably talk to the mayor. He could probably shed some light on it. Maybe he's heard of this misfortune that has befallen on Dunross. I don't know. This is the first news that I've heard of it.
Well, if anything, he should be warned, so possibly he could prepare his town.
Mercy,
Yeah.
what was that other guy's name that left town with the flower?
Otto
Otto
Edmundsunu.
Edmundsunu.
Yeah.
Edmundsunu.
Otto Edmundsunu, yep.
Orsa, have you ever heard of that guy's name? Edmund Orvansuno or whatever it is?
I've heard of him in the past, yes. He runs a caravan service. I believe several of the major farmers of the area has used his services in the past. And the way it is in Dol Sutter is all of the lands are basically, they're divided into 10 large portions of land. And there's basically 10 major landholders. And 8 of those major landholders, they grow nothing but the wheats and the barleys and stuff. And in the other 2 landowners, they raise livestock. So that's how the milks and the cheeses are provided throughout Dol Sutter and the surrounding areas. And then everybody that works on their land, they basically are paid employees to, create all of these base materials like the wheats and the barleys and stuff. So it's not like it's not slavery. It's actually they get paid.
Oh yes, I know how that works. My father's honor and my fief work very similar. We have servants and they're of course crafters.
Ah. Yes, it's a good system. It's not like the other areas of Razalon that still rely on slave labor. We have here in the Freelands, we have gotten past that dark time. Bop, thanks for the follow.
He left Dunross with several wagons full of flour several hours before the rats attacked.
Well,
So,
there is a couple of storage facilities here that the major farm holders, the farm landowners actually have. So maybe you might be able to ask the mayor or maybe just do a little bit of a snooping around town maybe.
I look
And,
at Fargus and I say, I would definitely like to check out the stores here.
Well, you've got 50 gold shields. That's quite a bit of money. Rodgar pays good wages. You can even get a cheap meal for just 5 silver at the Four Sheaves. And there will be some bread sent over there within the next couple of hours now that we have flour again.
I don't want to eat any bread that was made in 2 hours.
Oh, it's good. It'll put hair on your chest. Well, you may not want that, but maybe the dwarves will. And he kind of chuckles and he says, well, back to work. Thank you for bringing the flour to the bakery. I appreciate it. Just make sure that you drop off the wagon over at Rodgar's house and the money. And I'll see you later. And he walks inside and the door shuts. Poof. Unless, of course, you stop him before he shuts the door and say something else to him.
no, I think I'm good.
All right.
I'd like to thank Mercy, Jot, and Fargus, my new companions, for sharing such a wonderful amount of gold, even though I feel like that was probably deserved, but I understand that it took some courage to admit that.
It's all right, Elf. There's still much work to do to continue to earn that 50 shields.
Matilda's got the greedy hindrance, so she's
So
playing the
don't think
greedy
it's
hindrance. Great. She's playing the greedy hindrance.
Yeah,
Great.
that should buy me a couple good meals at the end here.
So we're 2 adventurers. We've got a little while longer before I've got to go get my son.
Hey, let's check out that granary.
Do
What do you
do
think,
that or
guys?
drop off the wagon first?
The wagon's got to be dropped off in Oslof.
No, the wagon. No, at Rodgar's house. Rodgar's house is here in Dalsetter.
Oh, we should drop that off before we have to cart that around everywhere.
You remember the old 5th edition game we were playing? And
Which one?
you guys found that, well, the Ghosts of Dragonspear Castle, the first time we ran it, and you found the cart from the Minotaurs, and you guys were literally pulling this cart around the entire dungeon.
I wasn't.
Remember? Well, the monk was, and he kept, on the map, he kept getting the token caught on the map. It
Yeah.
was so funny. God, that was so funny. I got to find that and play that. And he kept saying, the cart's stuck. But yeah, Rodgar's house is here. It's here in Dalsetter. And the baker, he told you that his servant, his name is Alwick. Aelwick. Aelwic, Aelwick, I
Oh,
guess.
that's good to hear because I was about to be furious to think that I had to go back to Oslof without the wagon.
No. Nope, you drop the wagon off at Rodgar's house. That's whenever you decide to, that, by the way.
Well, if we're all in agreement, I guess that's the next place to go. And so we don't have to keep carrying around this 450 gold.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to give the money to Rodgar. You can keep it if you want. Of course, there may be repercussions for that or, something like that. I'm sure there probably would be.
Not gonna happen on my watch.
I think that would be considered a sin for you, wouldn't it? Or close to it.
Oh, yeah.
It'd go against my character, probably. For sure.
So do you guys want to go to Rodgar's first then?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, I think
Give
so.
rid of the
All right.
wagon and money.
Now, he's got a nice looking place here. A nice looking pad. 2-story pad. His servant opens the door. He introduces himself as Aelwick, and he kind of looks past you and sees the wagon. And then he calls out to a couple of the other servants that works here at the Rodgar establishment, and they go and they get the wagon for you and start pulling it around and putting it into a shed. And he says, do you have the money that is supposed to go to Rodgar?
Yes.
I'm sorry that Rodgar can't be here, but he has not arrived back from his travels to Oslav.
Actually, where's the last that you've heard of him?
I have not heard from him for probably about a week now. Although I did get a message during the night saying that he would be back within the next couple of days. But he comes and goes as he pleases. Thank you. The money. Oh, it seems a little light. Did something?
I have a receipt here, signed by the baker for the
Okay.
exact amount, 450 gold shields.
We didn't
Ooh.
steal it. We ran into some problems in Dunross.
Oh, it seems like, yeah. Ooh. And what problems were those? And I guess you guys rattle off the story and whatnot. And he says, the receipt is nice. Thank you. I think Rodgar was expecting a little bit more, and it seems like you have a couple of other folks along with you as well. I think he was expecting 3. But seeing that the flour was delivered, I'm sure that he's a fair man. I'm sure he'll probably look past that.
Yeah, this last transaction was negotiated by your partner, the baker, so you may want to check with him if there's an issue.
Oh, we have the receipt. I'm sure everything will be fine. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Sure, have you heard of an Alto Edvinsuna?
I believe that Mr. Rodgar has used his services in the past. I believe
Really? What are his services?
he runs a caravan service. He transports goods, much like yourselves. But his establishment, his business actually supplies all of the wagons, all of the supplies for the travel. Of course, his prices are more, and that's why Rodgar usually looks for the mercenaries like yourselves. No offense intended for the word mercenary.
I am not a mercenary, sir.
Hired help. We'll say hired help. That's why
I'm the
Rodgar
merciful
looks for the
daughter of Ira, the mother of light.
Well, I'm sure your
Great
travels were
hero.
blessed by Ira.
Look what she's done now. You've got her going.
Hero, thank you so much. for
As
the
long as we're
follow.
on the subject of not being mercenaries, do you happen to have any Timothy hay or oats for sale for my pet mule Grazer?
Grazer. Maybe you might be able to stop at the stables on the way out. I'm sure that they have bales of hay that you might be able to acquire. But as for us, no, it's the supplies of Dalsetter are running thin, actually, and winter is upon us. So that was why Rodgar had hired you in the first place for the emergency storage flour. Well, the emergency flour that was in
One
the
more
granary.
question about Baldo.
Yes.
Is he associated with any particular guild or any other associations that you know of?
I don't think he's part of a guild per se. I think he just does work for the major landowners of the Dol Sutter area. I think he's pretty much worked for all of them.
A self-made man, possibly, or
I
does he have a patron?
No, he's self-made. He just is word of mouth. He doesn't have any kind of storefront or establishment here. I think he's just contacted whenever the farmers need his services. They just reach out to him.
Does he usually foot this stuff around himself, or does he have workers?
Oh no, he has a full crew. That's why he charges a little bit more. That's why Rodgar has hired you, because the fees are just too expensive for Rodgar. For the amount of grains that Rodgar can produce, it's just not worth hiring Otto's company.
I certainly
Well-
understand that there's a shortage, but no, it's okay. I certainly understand there's a shortage, but if you need to increase the price, I think that my gold shields are more than a match for your demand.
Well, I think that's going to probably have to happen. I don't know of any of the farmers that have any kind of storage, but I mean that's possible. But I know that Rodgar, he doesn't want to capitalize on misfortune or anything like that, especially what's befallen, on Dunross. I mean, it's unfortunate. I can just imagine how many gold shields have been lost during all of that. I mean, I was expecting payment for 50 sacks, and 15 stacks of flour destroyed. That's quite a few hundred gold shields.
Well, he might want to consider hiring Otto Edmondsuno again next time, because he seems to have the inside track. He was able to remove all of his grains from Dunross hours before the rats attacked.
Well, he doesn't own any of the flour per se. He just transports it. So, oh wow, maybe something is afoot here. You said it was just several hours beforehand, huh? Hey.
Yes, correct.
Maybe you could talk to the mayor. He might be able to shed a little bit of light on this.
That's
He
something
usually-
more informative than the previous mayor.
Oh, the previous mayor. Who was that? Did
The
you have some
former mayor
problems?
of Dunross.
Oh, he is a rather beastly, bulging man.
Couldn't agree more. Mayor Cupcake.
Cake.
Ewick just kind of chuckles. Yes, I would agree with you on that. I would speak to the mayor. Ogdi is a good man. He's busy, but he's a good man. And in fact, usually it's appointment only, but I think I might be able to pull a string for you. And he goes inside for a second and comes back out with a piece of parchment and a seal with Rodgar's seal and says, "Give this to him. I'm sure he'll probably see you."
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, and thanks for, and I'm glad that you're all okay. It's unfortunate what has happened to Dunross.
Oh, thank you so much for your concern. It's just that Grazer
Call
really does
me.
enjoy the hay, and the
Brittany.
grass just isn't as delicious. And I really love to see my mule happy.
You said his name was Blazer or Grazer?
Oh, yeah, that's Grazer.
Grazer, okay. That's a great
Has
name.
there been a mule following us all this time?
There has been, yeah.
That would have been a good feature to point out. Cool, so Matilda. That's her name, right?
Yes, that's my name. That's correct. Thank you.
Where did you find old Grazer?
Oh well, before I set off from my home in the Hearthlands on my backpacking trip through the
Backpack.
through the mountain valley here, along the mountain pass, for my graduation event, I went ahead and I convinced my father to help me buy a mule to carry some of my supplies, my tents, my tabletop game set.
Oh.
there.
Oh.
What did you graduate from?
Faces. Oh,
So
dear.
just a local school, and of course I had tutors.
Okay, what were you studying?
Yeah, Eowyn says, I'm intrigued. What type of studying did you do, Matilda?
Well, I don't know. I can't really vouch for my own experience, but I do have some alchemy knowledge.
Ooh, an alchemist.
Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate the compliment.
Well, I guess we're going to see the mayor.
Yes, too much talk at school. Like my head hurts.
Yeah, I think Yacht and Fargus should handle the mayor. Maybe a little intimidation might help things here.
Ooh. All right, so you get to the town hall.
I'll just smile pretty at him, showing my good side.
You are a beautiful creature. especially with all the flowers in your hair.
Finn, thanks for the follow, Finn.
If we had passed a store that had arrows, I'd like to refill my stock from the ones I shot at the guard.
Sure, there is a general store, and you can go ahead and you can do that.
And I'd like to know when the flowers got in my hair. When did that happen?
I've noticed it for some time now, actually. And right about then, I reach into my pack and pull out some leaves and start chewing on them again.
Very nice.
At least you have flowers. Apparently, I have ants in my hair.
So when you get to the town hall, you give the piece of parchment to one of the employees of the hall. He says, "Oh, I'll get the mayor for you right. In fact, I think he'll see you now." Then, of course, he leads you back to the mayor's office, and there's an aged man, probably in his late 50s or early 60s, and on the door it says, "Mayor Skolasunu," and opens up the door and says, here's the mayor. And the mayor says, yes, what is this about? I'm a busy man, but I've always got time for friends of Mr. Rodgar. What can I do you for?
Well, several things. Dunross was attacked by giant rats.
Giant rats? A giant, like, how big are these giant rats? Is it maybe twice the size of a rat, or?
Upwards to the size of dogs.
Holy shit, that's a big rat. And how many of these rats are there? You said a lot of them?
The town was overrun. The town is pretty well gone.
Well, that's dreadful, dreadful news. Holy crap.
The remaining survivors are heading back to, I can't remember the town name.
Oslov? This is,
Yes,
oh my gosh.
Oslov.
I hope they can seek refuge there. I know Tent Town is getting pretty full. So you said the whole village is destroyed, huh? Wow, rats everywhere. He pauses for a little bit, shakes
Mayor
his
Cupcake
head.
didn't do much. He's holding on to food.
Old Mayor Cupcake. I know exactly who you're talking about. I wasn't really a fan of how he ran that small little town. He kept hiking up the fees for storage on all of our local farmers, and I really didn't appreciate that. It's, of course, we don't have a mill here in Dalsetter, so we had to use the one there in Dunross. Oh, that's unfortunate. But I can go ahead now. I'll send out one of my riders and see if they can actually meet the rest of the well, not the defectors, but all of the other folks that are leaving Dunross. I'll see if they can get some assistance for them. But
the refugees.
the refugees as poor citizens of Dunross. Oh my goodness. I hope they have enough food, but then again, if Mayor Cupcake survived, they could be in trouble.
He's got plenty of food in his storage, but he won't share.
Yeah. Well, I thank you guys for bringing this terrible news to my attention.
Oh, I just feel so bad for them.
So, what else can I do you for? Is there anything else you need any assistance with? And welcome to Dalsetter. Have you ever been to our fine little beautiful town?
Never been. This is a first.
Well, it's like a home away from home. If you're not from here, that is.
Seems that way. What can you tell us about Otto Edmund Suno?
Well, I know he does a lot of work for the farmers around here. Why? What is Otto is he okay? Is he in some type of trouble, or?
Well, he picked up all his flour from Dunross several hours before the town was overrun by rats.
And who did he pick this up for? Whose mark was this? Whose marks was this granary?
That's what we were hoping you might know.
It was a bread loaf with 2 grain stalks.
Well,
That sound familiar?
yes, that's Rodgar's symbol. I also told you guys of another symbol. Do you remember?
Wasn't there one with a lowercase d on it?
Yeah, it's a lowercase d with 2 wheat stalks on it.
Yep.
What about the triple X?
But
Oh.
that one we found near the
Yeah.
road warden's house, or road warden's towers that had been sacked.
Remember the one with the apple tree? Remember that one? So,
No, I don't remember an apple tree.
yeah, there was one with an apple tree and the wheat sheaf. That was on east and west number 1. That was the empty granaries. Yep. And
I was
he
writing
says,
all this shit down too.
"Oh, the apple tree and wheat sheaf. Oh, that's that mark belongs to Pendaranov Sunu. He's one of the larger farmers here in the area. But so you're saying that his flour was taken out just a little bit of time before the rats infested Dunross?"
He could make a fair bit of profit if all the other grain was destroyed.
Well, I think that's pretty harsh accusations, don't you think? I think that's nonsense. I don't think Ogdi would. And he's kind of scoffing loudly. He says, I've known Penda and his family for years. The man is a major landowner in these parts. He's as honest as the day is long, and he's already pretty wealthy to begin with, and I don't see what reason he would have for destroying Dunross.
Well, sir, we're not making any accusations or assumptions. We're just asking questions.
Well, I don't take that lightly when someone comes to my office and
we've witnessed the town destroyed and its people eaten alive by rats. I just want to find out how the rats got there. That's all that is on my mind. I don't want to burn anyone at the stake who is not guilty. I just want to find out where the rats came from.
Well, nor do I. The only other thing that I want to say is, with Penda, his grains, he needs to get them milled as much as the next. So I don't see what he would have a part in this. And I want you to find out what's going on with this, because that's a bad thing as to what happened to Dunross. So I'll give you directions to Penda's farmstead.
What'd you say his name was again?
His name is Penda. In fact, I'll put it in the chat for you. His name is Penda Ranulph Sunu.
Who comes up with these names?
Mercy, I know we don't have a long-standing relationship, but I've discovered that the world mostly works the way it's supposed to, and everything is mostly good and just and fair.
Well, go ahead.
I really doubt this Penda Ranulph Sunu has anything to do with the Grange raid.
Yes, Penda's a good man.
And if you'll forgive me, Mayor, asking questions about him doesn't mean that we assume that he is guilty, but it may lead to finding who is.
I think you're right, and I'm sorry to presume that you were attacking Penda. It's just that I've known all of these farmers their whole lives, my whole life, and I just don't think that any of them would do anything like that to such a small area. The small village of Dunross. It's just that Dunross is vital to our survival here in Dol Sutter. We don't have a mill, and now that Dunross is destroyed, now the wheels in my head are churning. I may have to make the call to pull funds together, maybe even tax the citizens and have a mill built now. This is heavy on me as well. So if I came off like I was burning you at the stake for accusing one of my area's landowners, then I apologize.
Well, it's good that you're taking this seriously, because we have witnessed the town completely destroyed by rats. So if there's any way at all that you can prepare for this do so because Dunross is not far down road from you.
No, it's not even a half day's travel, and I will alert the captain of the guard. And here is the directions to Penda's house. Well,
Also, I might mention
storefront.
that
Yes.
quote unquote Cupcake had sent or had told us that he had sent word to Aslov about the rats problem and never got the response.
Speaking out of character, remember the dead horse and the person behind the tree? He had that
Right.
note. Remember, he was the one that had the
Right.
note. So, yeah. So the note actually never made it to Aslov, unfortunately. And in fact, I can give you I can share you the note again. This is it right here.
No, I actually remember what that said. I'd
Okay.
forgotten about it. Because I meant to bring it up at the time he had mentioned that issue, but something came up and
Yeah.
we didn't
Where
mention
was
it.
this from again?
This was the body that we found. Remember the horse that was shot up with arrows, and then just off to the side under a bush, some feet stuck out, and this guy's body was there, and this note was found on his body.
Yep. And you guys got ambushed by eye piercer tribe orcs.
Orcs, huh?
And you guys actually kicked their butt, so
Yeah, but that wasn't where we found the dead horse. That was further down the road. Actually, leaving the warden's tower.
yep, there were no
Road warden's,
horses at all there. There were no horses.
Yeah, but when we left there heading to Dunross.
Yep, between the tower and Dunross, that's when you found
Yeah.
the dead horse with the rider
Yeah,
off
the horse
behind
lying
the
out there.
bushes. Yeah. Yep. The man killer arrows, the armor piercing arrows that was in the horse. All right, so you guys have the location to Penda's house. And that's where we'll go ahead and end because I've got to go get my son. So thank you guys for wanting to play for such a short amount of time.